All right, happy Mardi Gras, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here. Wanted to give an update on our forecast really quick before our 4 o'clock newscast. Thankfully, it seems like we got in our parades here in coastal Mississippi. Thank goodness. It's already starting to get pretty windy outside, and we are starting to see a strong to even severe line of thunderstorms rolling through southeast Louisiana. That is going to be heading our way later this evening. So that being said, let's dive into the forecast. We do have a lot to talk about, a lot of activity going to be happening this evening. Regardless of if we see severe weather or not, it's still going to be windy ahead of these storms, and storms are still looking likely this evening. I know a lot of people still probably going to be out and about celebrating this evening. Just want to give them a heads up to keep some tabs on the weather in case we do see some severe thunderstorms, and even a few tornadoes are not completely out of the question. Although within these storms, my main concern are going to be some strong straight line winds. So after about 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll start to see a strong line of thunderstorms approaching South Mississippi from the west. Those will continue to pass throughout the early part of the evening. I really anticipate most of the rain to be out of the way by about 9 o'clock or so, maybe as late as 10, but this line is going to be moving in and out quickly. Again, wind gusts near 60 miles per hour, even higher than that, our main concern with these storms, but a few brief tornadoes not out of the question, especially right along the leading edge. Because these thunderstorms are going to be moving in and out quickly, flooding not as much of a concern. Some of us may be picking up close to an inch of rain, maybe a little bit more than that, but flooding overall, not a huge concern with this system. Now, we are under a tornado watch. That is set to expire at 7 o'clock this evening. Depending on the timing of how quickly these storms move in and out, that watch may extend a little bit later in the evening. We'll wait and see. Again, main concern going to be strong straight line winds, but with the chance of there being a few brief tornadoes, we have been placed under a tornado watch, and that also includes much of southeast Louisiana. Let's take a look at radar right now. We do see some pretty strong thunderstorms, even some severe thunderstorms to our north and west. Currently, it looks like they are approaching Baton Rouge, and they are racing off towards the east at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. Regardless of severe weather, there's really not going to be any way to avoid the rain tonight. That's pretty much a guarantee. Hopefully, we are going to be spared of severe weather, but we do have some of those ingredients in place to sustain those strong thunderstorms. One of those being some very strong wind shear. The upper level winds are very fast. Now, one good thing regarding our severe weather threat is that it's not overly warm and it's not overly humid. That means we don't have a ton of instability in the atmosphere right over South Mississippi. Plus, by the time that these thunderstorms approach us, we're going to be losing a little bit of that daytime heating, but the fast upper level winds are going to sustain that line of thunderstorms, so we'll closely monitor that. Again, like I said, rain pretty much a guarantee after we get past the sunset tonight, and it's still going to be very windy as this line continues to get closer to us from the west. We can see our Hancock-Windy Bank Tower Cam in Gulfport shaking around a little bit with that wind out of the south and southeast. Sustained winds right now at 16 miles per hour at the airport, but earlier this afternoon, we've already seen some gusts over 30 miles per hour. Now, these wind reports or wind gusts were reported as of 2:30. So as this line of storms gets closer, we're likely going to see higher wind gusts ahead of the storm. Seems like Pascagoula at the Trent Lott International Airport, that's the winner so far in South Mississippi, with a wind gust reported of 44 miles per hour. But I have checked over in New Orleans, they've had some wind gusts over 50 miles per hour ahead of these storms reported at both the Louis Armstrong International Airport and also the Lakefront Airport. So those strong winds, they're on the way later this evening. So far, we've mostly seen wind gusts between 30 and 45 miles per hour, but that high wind warning still remains in effect. Can't rule out the potential for more wind gusts over 40 to 50 miles per hour. A few spotty power outages still not completely out of the question. Wind advisory remains in effect farther inland and more so for areas to our east. Mobile, the Florida Panhandle, still going to be feeling some of those strong wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. And we're mainly keeping that wind out of the southeast and south later this evening ahead of those strong thunderstorms. In addition to that, still could see some minor coastal flooding this evening. We are getting past high tide at this time. However, just a heads up with that strong breeze out of the south and southeast, that may push up some of the water a little bit. In those low-lying areas, minor coastal flooding of about 1 to 2 feet still going to be possible throughout most of the evening. So let's take another look at satellite and radar. Again, big line of showers and thunderstorms approaching the Baton Rouge area. They are moving very quickly to the east at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So they're basically moving at the speed of a car on the highway for the most part. All things considered, they're moving very quickly. And one good thing with that is they will be moving in and out of our area fairly quickly by the end of the evening. The bigger setup is that there is a big, strong area of low pressure across the middle part of the country. You may be able to see some of those snow showers on the northwestern side of this area of low pressure. They're actually expecting some blizzard conditions in parts of Nebraska and Iowa with this system. The closer you are to the front and to that area of low pressure, the stronger the winds are. So as the system gets closer to us, we will continue to feel the wind picking up even more. But like I said, this is a fast-moving system. That's going to limit how much flooding we're going to see, but some of these storms may pack a punch as they pass through South Mississippi this evening. So this is our latest run of Futurecast. It shows most of that line getting closer to us after 5 o'clock. It quickly passes through. I would say by about 7 or 8 o'clock, we'll see that line mainly crossing Highway 49. And then by about 9 or 10 o'clock, most of the rain moves off into Jackson County and even into parts of Alabama at that point. Once the line passes through completely, it's going to be turning much drier. Winds are going to be shifting out of the west and northwest for Ash Wednesday. It's going to be cooler in the morning with lows in the low to mid 50s. And by tomorrow afternoon, we do expect a lot more sunshine, but overall, it's going to be cooler with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Ash Wednesday is going to be beautiful, but it's also going to be breezy with winds out of the west. So I do expect our highest wind gusts ahead of these thunderstorms to be more so in the late afternoon and early evening. I would say within the next few hours, just before that line approaches us. You can see here, estimates of wind gusts over 45, as high as 50 miles per hour. So those winds going to be packing a punch. You may be hearing them howl a little bit, especially if you're going to be outside. You can tell here where the line is going to be pushing through. Notice how behind the line, the winds are more so out of the south and west. And it is still going to be breezy behind the line, but not quite as windy as what we're going to be seeing today or tonight. By Wednesday, looking at that wind more so out of the north and west, some gusts over 20 miles per hour, certainly possible throughout the day tomorrow, but at least it is going to be sunny and beautiful and a little cooler with highs in the 60s. Just a heads up, if you have plans to take the boat out tonight, I'd highly rethink that. A gale warning remains in effect over the Sound and offshore tonight. Dangerous conditions expected. We could see seas as high as 14 feet offshore. Being on the boat tonight, not a good idea with that gale warning in effect. It is definitely going to be windy, especially over the water. Once it's all said and done, I would say most of us are going to be picking up about a half an inch of rain, up to an inch in some spots. This latest run of Futurecast indicates that a few areas may pick up over an inch of rainfall. That's not out of the question within these stronger storms, but speaking widespread, like I said, flooding not as much of a concern with these thunderstorms this evening, but you may see some heavy downpours within these storms. Localized flooding still going to be possible. Maybe your yard is like mine. It doesn't absorb the water very well. You may still see some ponding in your yard, but widespread flash flooding, not too much of a concern with this system. By tomorrow, things are looking bright, sunny, breezy, highs in the mid-60s for the most part for Ash Wednesday. A little cooler on Thursday. Heads up, Thursday morning, a big chill in the air. Temperatures back into the low 40s. But overall, very March-like weather expected over the next 7 days. Rain chances are going to be higher heading into Saturday, the first part of the weekend. Some of those showers may linger into Sunday. And this is also thanks to another front, so we may cool down a little bit by Sunday. Heads up, daylight saving time, that's beginning on Sunday. Our clocks will be moving forward 1 hour. We lose that hour of sleep, but the sunrises and sunsets are going to be later in the day, so the evenings are going to be brighter starting on Sunday. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe our sunset in Biloxi is at 7 o'clock on that Sunday. Monday and Tuesday next week still looking pretty mild with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. No freezes in the forecast at this time. We are getting closer and closer to the start of spring, and we can know that not only with the temperatures but also with our severe weather threat this evening, and that is something we will continue to monitor closely. I will be doing all of the evening newscasts tonight. I will be here monitoring things on our first alert radar. We've got our 4 o'clock show coming up in about 13 to 14 minutes. So I will have the very latest on what's going on our radar, tracking those thunderstorms to our west. Fingers crossed that we don't have to deal with any severe weather tonight, but because I know a lot of people are going to be out and about celebrating this evening, just want everyone to stay weather aware tonight in case we do see those strong straight line winds, and also in case we have a few brief tornadoes that spin up. So that being said, I am going to get ready for our 4 o'clock show. Hopefully you will join us on ABC. I'll have the very latest on that. Plus we have some exciting kitchen segments and some news. We'll probably be going over some of the parades that have been going on today in South Mississippi. So I hope you can join us for our 4 o'clock show and throughout the rest of the evening if need be. I will be doing severe weather coverage if we have any warnings that are issued throughout the evening. You can catch us on our live stream and, of course, over the air if need be. Hopefully that's not the case, but I will be here watching things throughout the rest of the evening. So with that being said, I'm getting ready for our 4 o'clock show. Hope to see you there.